CBS Young and the Restless spoilers. The storyline surrounding Victor Newman's potential death in The Young and the Restless has gripped fans with anticipation and anxiety. With Braeden, the actor who has embodied Victor for decades, reaching an age where he has expressed a desire to retire, the idea of Victor's departure from Genoa City looms large. The possibility that Victor could die, especially in a dramatic fashion in a place like Nice, has led to intense speculation among fans, many of whom fear the loss of one of the most iconic characters in soap opera history. Victor's influence on Y&R is undeniable, and his potential exit would undoubtedly change the dynamics of the show, possibly driving away a large portion of the audience who have followed his journey for years. But if Victor were to leave, would it truly be through death? And could it really be at the hands of someone like Kane Ashby? Victor Newman is more than just a businessman. He is the central pillar of The Young and the Restless, a character whose complex relationships, moral gray areas, and powerful influence over others have made him a staple of the show. As the patriarch of the Newman family, Victor's presence in Genoa City is felt by everyone from his children Nick and Vittoriano, his romantic partner, Nikki, and his adversaries. His role as a businessman, a father, and a manipulator has driven numerous storylines over the years, and as such, the potential loss of his character raises the stakes for the entire show. With Braeden's advancing age, the idea that Victor might exit is a difficult one for many fans to accept. His magnetic presence, his nuanced performance, and his embodiment of power and vulnerability have made Victor an unforgettable figure. For many viewers, Y&R without Victor would feel like an entirely different show, and the potential for a mass exodus of fans loyal to the character and the actor could be a serious consideration for the show's future. The rumors surrounding Victor's death are gaining traction, but it's important to examine the motivations behind such a significant exit. Could Victor really die in a foreign city like Nice, or is this just a way to signal the end of an era without the finality of death? The choice of location, with its romantic and dramatic connotations, suggests that Victor's passing could be a cathartic conclusion to a long and storied journey. However, the real question remains, who, if anyone, would be responsible for his death? One intriguing and increasingly plausible theory is that Kane Ashby may play a role in Victor's demise. Kane and Victor have always had a complicated relationship, often driven by business rivalries, personal animosities, and family entanglements. Kane, a character who has experienced his own share of personal demons and moral ambiguity, has found himself at odds with Victor on multiple occasions. Over time, their relationship has become more tense, with Kane trying to carve out his own space in Genoa City, sometimes at odds with Victor's control over everything around him. Kane, a man who has walked the line between right and wrong, has shown that he is willing to do whatever it takes to protect his family and ensure his own success. While his actions have often been driven by self-interest, there is an emerging sense that Kane may be willing to go even further, particularly if he perceives Victor as a threat to his future or his position in the Newman family business. If Kane were to be involved in Victor's death, it would not be the first time that business dealings and personal vendettas have led to devastating consequences in Genoa City. But what makes this scenario even more tantalizing is Michael Baldwin's role in the entire plot. Michael, who has been a key figure in the Newman family's legal and business dealings for years, could be the wild card in the equation. If Michael were to be persuaded or worse, manipulative aligning himself with Kane against Victor, it would set the stage for a catastrophic turn of events. Michael's loyalty to Victor has always been tested, especially as his career and personal life have become more complicated. If Kane were to offer Michael a significant advantage, or if Michael's personal circumstances pushed him into a corner, there is a real possibility that Michael could betray Victor. This betrayal would be devastating, not only to Victor but also to the rest of the Newman family, especially Nikki and Nick, who both understand that Victor's time is running out. The idea of Michael betraying Victor is not entirely out of the realm of possibility. Michael has often been portrayed as a pragmatic character, willing to make difficult choices in order to protect his family. But his allegiance to Victor has always been something of a double-edged sword. As much as he respects Victor for his power and business acumen, Michael is not blind to the man's flaws and manipulations. If Michael were to feel that Victor's time has come, or if he were to align himself with someone like Kane who promises to elevate his own standing, the consequences could be dire. Meanwhile, Nikki and Nick are preparing themselves emotionally for the inevitable loss of Victor. They know that the end is near, and the inevitable sense of loss is weighing heavily on them. Both characters have spent years trying to understand their father's complex nature and, at times, have had to come to terms with the fact that his methods, however harsh, have been part of what made him the powerful figure he is. But as time passes, and Victor's health and strength seem to wane, Nikki and Nick are forced to reckon with the idea that the man who has been the center of their lives will no longer be there to guide them or control them. This emotional preparation adds another layer of complexity to the storyline. It's not just about Victor's potential death, but about how his absence will affect the Newman family. Will Kane, once considered an outsider, take advantage of Victor's weakening position and attempt to seize control of the family business? Will Michael's betrayal, if it happens, be the final blow to Victor's reign, or will someone else step in to prevent Kane from taking the throne? As Victor's fate hangs in the balance, it's unclear how things will unfold. While Kane's involvement in his death remains a possibility, it's also possible that another force will rise to challenge Victor's power before he can truly leave the show. Perhaps the real question is not who will kill Victor, but what his death will mean for the future of the Newman family. The emotional fallout, the power struggles, and the legacy Victor leaves behind will shape the next chapter of The Young and the Restless. In conclusion, the question of whether Kane Ashby will be the one to end Victor Newman's life is one that adds a thrilling and intense layer to the already complex web of relationships and power plays on the show. As Victor's health declines, the stakes grow higher, and everyone from his loyal allies to his adversaries is vying for control. With Kane's ambitions, Michael's potential betrayal, and the looming loss of a family patriarch, the future of the Newman family and The Young and the Restless itself is at a crossroads. Fans will be eagerly watching as the drama unfolds, waiting to see whether Kane's power plays will be successful, or whether another force will take charge of Victor's fate before it's too late. The possibility of Victor Newman's death in The Young and the Restless has sent shockwaves through the fanbase, stirring up emotions and concerns about the future of the show. After over 50 years of commanding attention on the screen, Victor, portrayed by the legendary Braeden, has become synonymous with Y&R. His role as the ruthless patriarch of the Newman family, a businessman with a complex moral compass, and a character whose machinations have shaped the fabric of Genoa City, has solidified his place as one of soap opera's most iconic figures. However, as Braeden nears retirement, it seems that the time is coming for Victor to leave the stage, leaving fans to wonder, what will his departure mean for the show? And what will it look like when Victor finally meets his end? Victor's death would mark the end of an era for The Young and the Restless, and while fans may hold out hope for an exit that doesn't involve death, the fact remains that his eventual departure, whether through natural causes, murder, or any other plot twist, seems inevitable. Braeden, the actor who has played Victor for over 40 years, has expressed his desire to retire. His farewell to the role of Victor is not only a personal one for Braeden but also a poignant moment in the history of Y&R. The actor's contributions to the series cannot be overstated, as his portrayal of Victor has shaped much of the show's trajectory. From the heart-wrenching family drama to the explosive power struggles and business rivalries that have defined Y&R for generations, it is no secret that Victor Newman's character has become a cornerstone of the series. His complex relationships, his larger-than-life presence, and his relentless pursuit of control have been central to the ongoing drama of the show. As a businessman, Victor's influence extends beyond just his familiar battles with rival companies, his manipulation of the people around him, and his controversial decisions have all been pivotal moments that have shaped Y&R. Victor is a character who has loved and lost, fought battles both internal and external, and maintained his power at any cost. His presence in Genoa City has been a defining feature of the soap opera, and as his death approaches, so too does the idea of the show's transition into a new phase. Victor's death would, without a doubt, shake the foundation of Y&R. The Newman family has been at the center of the show since its inception, and Victor has been the glue that held it all together, albeit through manipulation and power. His relationships with his children, Nikki, and the other residents of Genoa City have been at the heart of the series' most intense storylines. Without Victor, the Newman family would face a dramatic shift, and this could be an opportunity for other characters to step into the spotlight. The question, however, remains, who could possibly fill the void left by such a monumental character? Victor's death, particularly if it happens in a dramatic fashion, such as in a foreign location like Nice, is bound to have ripple effects that stretch far beyond his immediate family. The symbolism of such a location, romantic, tragic, and cinematic, would suggest a fitting farewell for a character whose life has been filled with both grandeur and tragedy. But the real question is, who will be responsible for his death, and why? With the multiple twists and turns that have defined Y&R, it's not outside the realm of possibility that Victor's exit could be at the hands of someone close to him, such as Kane Ashby. Kane Ashby, a character whose relationship with the Newman family has been fraught with tension, manipulation, and conflict, is one possible candidate to bring Victor down. Kane's own troubled past and the complicated nature of his relationships with Victor and the rest of the Newman family make him a prime suspect in this hypothetical scenario. While Kane's actions have often been driven by personal gain, his role as a pivotal antagonist in Y&R positions him as a possible player in a storyline that involves the ultimate betrayal. Kane has shown time and again that he is willing to manipulate, deceive, and use others for his own benefit. If his ambitions were to lead him down a path where Victor's death was necessary for his own advancement, it's possible that Kane would be the one to end Victor's reign. This would be a shocking twist, as it would see someone from within the Newman circle stepping up to challenge Victor in a way that no one ever expected. However, Kane's involvement in Victor's death wouldn't be as simple as one character seeking revenge. It would be a complex, layered story, one that ties into the broader dynamics of family loyalty, business, and moral choices. The idea of Kane killing Victor would not only be an act of betrayal but also a dramatic shift in the family structure. As a family member, Kane would be tasked with taking on a role that Victor has long dominated, and this power struggle would have lasting consequences for everyone involved. In the midst of all this tension, Michael Baldwin's role becomes crucial. Michael, who has been a key figure in the Newman family's legal and business dealings, could be a potential wild card in this situation. Michael's loyalty to Victor has always been a significant part of his character, but as his own personal and professional struggles unfold, it is not inconceivable that he could be swayed to side with someone like Kane. Michael's deep ties to the Newman family would make his betrayal a devastating blow to Victor, especially if Michael were to turn against him in favor of Kane or other interests. If Michael were to break ties with Victor, it would throw the entire Newman empire into chaos, and the consequences of such a betrayal would be felt throughout the family. The emotional fallout from Victor's death would be far-reaching. Nikki, Victor's longtime partner, would be left to pick up the pieces of a life that has been deeply intertwined with Victor's for decades. As the woman who has stood by his side through his many trials and tribulations, Nikki's grief and loss would be profound. Nick, Victor's son, would also find himself struggling with his father's death. While their relationship has been tumultuous at times, Nick's sense of identity is closely tied to Victor, and the emotional toll of losing his father would undoubtedly have a lasting impact on him. Victoria, Victor's daughter, would have her own complicated feelings about his death. Though she has often tried to prove herself worthy of Victor's approval and respect, their relationship has been marked by both admiration and conflict. Losing Victor would leave her grappling with both her personal loss and the potential shift in power within the Newman family. Despite the potential for immense heartbreak and chaos, Y&R is known for its ability to create dramatic and compelling storylines, and Victor's death would be no different. It would open the door for new characters to rise to power, new conflicts to emerge, and new alliances to form. But one thing is certain, the show will never be the same without Victor. His legacy, however, will remain deeply woven into the fabric of Genoa City, and his absence will leave a permanent mark on Y&R. As Braeden prepares to retire, his exit from the show will be a bittersweet moment for the actor, the cast, and the fans who have supported him for decades. Though the character of Victor may be leaving the screen, his impact on Y&R will be felt for years to come. Eric's final goodbye will undoubtedly be an emotional moment for everyone involved, marking the end of a remarkable chapter in soap opera history. The show will continue, but the question remains, how can Y&R move forward without the character who has defined its dramatic legacy for so long? In conclusion, Victor's potential death, coupled with Eric Braeden's departure from Y&R, signals the end of an era. It raises many questions about the future of the show, the fate of the Newman family, and the legacy of Victor Newman. Kane Ashby's role in this potential plotline only adds to the drama and intrigue, while Michael Baldwin's potential betrayal introduces another layer of complexity. The emotional impact of Victor's death on his family and the people closest to him will reverberate throughout the show, creating a turning point in Y&R's long-running story. Fans may find themselves mourning the loss of a character who has been with them for decades, but as with all soap operas, new challenges and characters will emerge to carry the show forward. Victor's legacy will live on, but the question remains, who will rise to take his place in the power structure of Genoa City?